Okay, so what could be better post-workout than a little bit of restorative yoga for the practice of yoga therapy? So you can use a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can make one up with some pillows. The only thing is that you need a firm surface, and it should be approximately the length of your torso. So once you get into the position, you need to get up onto the bolster. So if we're going to practice a forward inversion that has no work or yang energy involved, you can sit on the end of the bolster, straddle the bolster, and lean forward so that the top of the chest is at the top of the bolster and the head is hanging down. So sometimes you have to jimmy it up. It might be too much of an inversion to go straight down to the floor, so you can use a pillow or a block in this case. And over time, you can remove that. But you can start off with it in the first place. And then just natural forward fold with an exhale is nice. And we're using the bolster in this case to stimulate the third eye, which helps to calm down the nervous system and activate the parasympathetic, so that our rest and digest is now going to be working because we're not stressed out. Resting, hands at the side. You can hug the block, bring them down, even have them at your side. You have to kind of experiment with it. That's why I like the restorative, because you just experiment until you find something that works for you. So I don't know if you can really see the angle of the neck. It's just a very slight inversion with the block. But since I have good flexibility, I'm going to remove the block and use the floor. Now you can see the inversion here. An inversion doesn't have to be extreme. It doesn't have to involve a lot of work like a headstand or even downward dog. So nice big long inhales and exhales. And of course the purpose of yoga is always to feel the body. So you stay there for as long as you like, or until you start to get stiff. And then on an inhale you can push up with the hands down by your shoulders. And that's fairly easy. Then to do the reverse, we're just going to scooch around the other side, sit on the end of the bolster. So for the torso, we probably want to be right at the very end, and then lean back gently. And again, you can use your block if you don't have a lot of flexibility, or a pillow, or if you're worried about the neck. So even in this position, I'm still in a very slight inversion. And this is remarkably good for draining the nasal passages. It's also very good for changing your perspective. So since I'm not worried about my neck and I have a lot of flexibility, I'm going to just remove the block and go into the full inversion. So you can use this as a chest opener as well. Have the arms out to the side. You can have blankets under the arms if you want to have a little bit of lift or a little support. You can have the hands on the belly or the chest or down at the side. You just have to experiment with what feels good. But it's a nice chest opener if you have any issues in the shoulders or the upper back. And then just breathe deep inhales and exhales. If it starts to feel like it's too much for the neck, just bring the block back into the equation. Just on an inhale, you move up. Or you can even use the hand to lift the head, you know, if you're worried about your neck at all in any way. Assist yourself. And what's interesting is if you're doing an inversion in this position, I never really could see how it would work for draining the nasal passages, and yet it does once you sit up. Sometimes I'll use some tapping from EFT just to get things moving, to relax the jaw, release the low back by doing a little wiggle. And again, you can stay here for as long as you like. And then when you're ready, just roll to the side, whichever side is more comfortable. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go to the right. Right is more of an active side. Generally, when you roll to the right, and then it's good to spend a couple of moments in meditation. So I have my blocks again. I'm going to use them under my knees because I have occasionally knee pain and knee issues, and that's the beauty of using the props with restorative yoga and yoga therapy. So yoga therapy is the therapeutic application of the wisdom of yoga. And restorative yoga is the practice of calming down the nervous system through the postures where you're generally inactive, but you're still activating the parts of the body that need the stretch and release. So I like to think of it as tools in the toolbox. Standard exercise is great for getting the blood flowing and creating strength and endurance. Standard Western yoga is good for flexibility and mobility. Therapeutic yoga is used for identifying a particular issue. Stress, anxiety, insomnia, chronic pain of any kind. And meditation is a mystery for most people because they think it's about doing something. And there are things you can do for meditation. However, meditation is largely about not doing. Just in and out. You can practice different postures for meditation as well. Yogis use the standard sitting with the erect spine because it's very hard to fall asleep in that posture. But it's not the only thing you can do for meditation. Meditation just means focusing the mind, calming the mind. So you can use your bolster under your knees. It feels really good for the low back. And then just lower yourself down in supported Shavasana. Many people enjoy Shavasana as their favorite yoga posture, which is interesting because it's one of the most inactive, right, of the Western yoga when we're practicing in a standard class. But if you're using the Shavasana to scan the body and breathe deeply, then you are using it as a meditation tool. And you can stay there as long as you like. When you're ready, roll to one side. Roll to the left side. Left side is where the heart is. rolling up from the left side is easiest on your cardiovascular. So use this hand on the floor, push up on an inhale. And that's it. It's a really quick, easy, nice way to relax at the end of a workout or anytime you need a really quick break. I find that using this kind of yoga as a therapeutic aid when I'm really tired in the middle of the day and I feel like I need a break. Because I work late usually, I teach music lessons in the evenings. I need to stay awake. And if I go for a nap in the middle of the day, I'm more likely to feel like I have to start my whole day all over again. And that's frustrating, and I don't feel like I had a good rest. Whereas if I use a little bit of time with the blocks, just laying down, different positions, feeling my body, using my breath for 10 to 20 minutes, I feel like I had a really good rest, and I wake up from it feeling like I'm ready to continue with my day, and I don't have to do anything remarkable to get going again because I never really went to sleep. But I did have a really good rest, so have fun with that and experiment. One of the things that I like about yoga is that it's all about experimenting with your life, seeing what works and doing that more, and letting go of the things that don't work for you anymore, gently and slowly over time with love. Namaste.